gentlewoman from Oklahoma. Ms. Bice is a former member of the Oklahoma State Senate, where she was the Senate chairman of the Finance Committee, but more importantly, a fearless leader in the House of Representatives. Welcome to the Ways and Means.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the members of committee for allowing me the opportunity to be here this afternoon and share with you some of the priorities that I hope you will consider as we look to move good policy this 119th Congress. Let me first start by saying that many of us here focus on families. We want to make sure that we're doing right by families. So the legislation that I want to offer up today really focuses on that. First, number one is the Child Act. Since the creation of dependent care FSAs in 1986, the contribution limit has remained $5,000. With the ever-increasing cost of child care and cumulative inflation measuring roughly 188% over the 39-year period since these accounts were created, relief is needed for American families. My legislation, the Child Act, co-led by Representative Sanchez in a bipartisan way, proposes doubling the contribution limit to $10,000 and indexing it for inflation annually. In 2021, the average cost of childcare was 10% of a couple's income. These employer-sponsored accounts can be used for after-school programs, childcare, extended care, day camp, sick child care, and other expenses. And I think it's incredibly important that we look at increasing this cap. Second, Paid Family and Medical Leave Tax Credit Extension and Enhancement Act, 45S. My friend and former Ways and Means member, Randy Feenstra, has introduced legislation to extend and reform the 45S tax credit. The provision, which was in TCJA and expires at the end of this year, has helped many employers expand their paid family leave benefits for their workers. Rep. Feenstra's bill not only makes the credit more flexible, but it also increases employer awareness and makes the tax credit permanent. As a mother of 2 daughters, I was thankful my employer offered me paid family leave. We need to incentivize employers to offer paid family leave, not mandate it. I want to thank Mr. Feenstra for leading this initiative, and I hope to see this tax credit permanently extended. And lastly, Paid Family Leave Working Group. I would like to share with you all that for the last year and a half or so, I've co-chaired a House bipartisan paid family leave working group. And at the end of this last year, our working group released 2 discussion drafts. The first is legislation I authored to create a modest federal incentive for states to offer their own paid leave programs through the use of a public-private partnership. This would include states who partner with insurance companies to offer cost-effective benefits and would tie in well with the reforms proposed by Mr. Feenstra's 45S legislation. The second concept would establish an Interstate Paid Leave Action Network, or I-Plan, which would enable a private, nonprofit intermediary to assist with the coordination and harmonization of paid leave benefits across state lines. While working on paid family leave, stakeholders continuously told my office that they had to deal with a patchwork of state regulations and requirements. Rep. Houlihan's forthcoming legislation will help streamline this and help them navigate the benefit programs. Mr. Chairman, I would also like to ask unanimous consent to submit the following articles for the record. 1, the end of the tax breaks could be very disruptive to business owners. 2, intangible drilling cost. 3, NCBA continues to push for death tax relief. And finally, how the loss of immediate expensing reduces innovation inputs.
Without objection.
Thank you. These articles support the reauthorization of 199A, intangible drilling cost, the R&D tax credit, and the repeal of the estate death tax. And these provisions are discussed in almost every meeting I have with constituents. The repeal of the death tax and extension of the other credits will allow Main Street America to continue to grow and employ more Americans. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to discuss tax issues that are important to my constituents in Oklahoma's 5th Congressional District. And with that, I yield.